All right, so this video is going to cover a few of the topics that we talked about today, namely just in our first position chords. So we learned A minor, E minor, and C today, and just brushing up on what those chords look like and how they get their names, right? We want to be able to identify these chords instantly just by saying their name. So we have E minor, where we play all 6 strings. And the root note here is what gives it its name, right? That's the E string. It gives it that E, that low E sound. A minor is where you move these fingers down in a unit, right? And then the pointer finger comes and picks up the first fret of the B string, and you strum from only the A string down here. That's what this chord looks like and sounds like. And then C. So a good way to get used to playing C at first is transitioning from A minor to C. And with C, this root note here with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, that's a C note. So be sure that you don't play the low E there. So 2 things to practice first, just to kind of, as you get back into playing and brushing up on these chords a little bit, is to play E minor to A minor. And you're playing quarter notes here. A steady beat, all down strums, and being mindful of those chord transitions. So that would be first, and you can gradually pick up the tempo. If that starts to feel really comfortable, start to incorporate some 8th note strumming. So that's down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. Next, do the exact same thing, applying those same principles to playing A minor to C. 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3. And you can see that I have my thumb sort of draped over the top. All my thumb is doing is keeping that E string from ringing out. I don't have to have it there, but it just helps me to make sure that even if I brush the low E string, it's not going to be a part of my chord. If that starts to get really easy, once again, playing 8th notes with a nice even 4/4. Lastly, you could play all 3 chords. So I would recommend a C, E minor to A. A for 2 measures, right? Sounds like a real chord progression. E minor, A. And then we could cut it to a half measure. Right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. That's just to kind of get you used to playing these chords again and making some of these transitions. We could apply the same thing with a good old 1, 4, 5, right? Which is G, C, and D, right? And if you can play these chords, there's a lot of tunes that are made up with this progression, right? G, C, D, and just repeat it, right? We learned about, I think you came playing G like this, right? Looks like this shape. And we learned about playing G and out of this chord form in some context, depending on what you want to play next. And here, if we're going to G, C, and D, D is another chord that you'll use a lot in the key of G, and if that's a new one to you, that's okay. It looks just like this. Pointer finger goes on the 2nd fret of the G. Middle finger goes on the 2nd fret of the high E, and then ring finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the B string, and you strum from the open D down, right? So that G, C, and D start out the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And so on. So that's just going to get you comfortable with those first position chords just a little bit more as we look ahead to progressing into playing songs with more complex progressions and strumming patterns.